Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. This is brought to you by BeSimply.
Stars, trees, clouds, and the moon. They all have a meaning and they look just like you.
Welcome to this segment of Soul, Silence, and Sound. And this is a full moon segment. This is the fifth lunar cycle and the third for those in the island nations. And as we make our way through this lunar cycle, we've officially entered into summer. The next new moon will be the kickoff, but we're in that transition period, and winter if you're in the southern hemisphere. And so collectively, we are being welcomed to one remember. And so humanity as a whole has gone through a series of awakenings. And that will continue to happen because not everyone is aware yet. And in the East, that's one of a daily practice, is to retain awareness. It's when we lose awareness. Our emotions can run wild. We could lose sight of mundane tasks that could cause harm. We could forget to take care of ourselves. All kinds of things can happen when we lose awareness. And so in this period where humanity has been destined to awaken, and it's happened in a series, as I've mentioned before, it couldn't happen all at once. It could cause mass psychosis, and that would not be a good thing. We'd eventually come down and be like a bad trip for those that like to go liquid out there. And so if you think about this moment, it's really about remembering. And sometimes many of you might be able to relate to this. We meander on our life's journey and we forget. And we don't remember the simple things that are so important, coupled with what you awoke to. So this awakening is very different for each and every one of us. And each one of you holds an important key to this awakening. And when you can see the world on a quantum level as it is operating, and it's like very vast and so many different nuances that are happening that assist even the difficult things in life, the strife, the resistance, the friction, all those things are assisting in our eventual liberation. And it happens one at a time, and eventually we'll all pop off and be free. And I think it's really important to understand what that word be free means. Is ultimately, if you think about being able to utilize your gifts, your mastery unencumbered, without getting judgment from another person, not having someone trying to take from you, being able to move fluidly through everyday life and your spiritual life without hitting hindrance. And these hindrances are one of a result of cause and effect. In addition, they're also the result of people interfering, energies interfering in the collective humanity and in the individual person. Each one of you probably has felt like someone's interfering in your reality. And as we continue to progress through this awakening, that's why it's so important to remember what you woke up to. And again, each one of you are holding a warp or a weft to this vast tapestry. And I feel very important to attune yourself to that tapestry versus a one-point perspective. When I was in design and architecture, interior architecture school, we draw perspectives. If you're drawing a one-point perspective to the horizon, it's much more effortless than a two-point perspective. Or if you add the third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, there's all these components. And so it doesn't go to a singularity And if you start to observe all these facets and these fields and these dimensions, just simply by looking into your own life, it's just a soft contemplation. You'll start to see it appear and see the different layers that you're interconnected to within your world system that you live in, within nature, and with the unseen realms. So whatever you were destined to awaken to in this moment, that is an important key to help assist for the greater good of humanity. Now, if you're listening and you like to cause harm and you can't hold back your compulsion from harming yourself and or others, it's really important that you seek help. And there are many people that can help you. And with that just initial, like, gosh, I don't want to like hurt or harm myself or others anymore, will actually be the best first step, rather than trick yourself into thinking that there's anything else more important. So we're at a twofold juncture. And for those, like I said, that are more predatory or are predatory in nature, if you happen to be listening to me right now, get help, because you are going to be left behind in this new ecospace that's opening up. You actually won't be able to exist within this field, because there will be no predators in this field that's rising within all of us. And so that first part, as the moon is almost full where I am here on the North American West Coast, is that that remembrance is, it's a good time for you to write down all the things you have learned since you started to have like, oh, wow, this is how things really work. Oh, wow. And again, there are so many nuances for each person. And usually when someone starts to go through these awakenings, they want to yell it from the mountaintops. They want to try to wake up other people. But it's really, it's an awakening from within. And so as you write those things down or make a mental cosmic diary journal entry, understand that that's what you want to remember. You don't want to forget, because two things that are happening is, people that are predatory in nature tend to repeat their playbook over and over again, because they think they're not seen or known and they've gotten away with it for so long and they're going to keep doing it. So by you remembering what is and holding that observer standpoint, it's so important. And you'll see what's unfolding. You'll see where they're trying to lull all of humanity back to sleep, almost gaslight and put everyone back to sleep in a distraction. And that's where you can really just be like, hey, I'm going to write this down so I don't forget it. And also trust yourself, because your intuition is going to be sharper now. And so what you learned, it's not completely over yet. And so it's going to take each one of us to hold that observer mode, first and second attention. And that second attention is held from your higher self and observing what's unfolding. And then this is the other part of this, is holding your feet to the fire so that you don't lose your convictions of what you realize. And that special, precious awakening within you, whether it was within your faith, whether it was within how the world business is run, whether it was within your ability to serve your family, your community, whatever it was, it could be of all those things, is to hold your feet to the fire, meaning that make yourself be responsible for this precious information and wisdom, and then hold others accountable, hold their feet to the fire. And that's reminding them like, no, we're not going to gaslight me into believing this, because it's, because that's the predator. They want to gaslight you, and they want to blame shift and all those things that everyone's been learning about, what the narcissistic pathology. And that truly is the Wetico. That is the poison of the mind, because this is where we construct our reality, is from our mind stream and our heart. So simple steps as you take graceful action, as we step into courage season as we step into summer season here and winter is that there's this opportunity to take the wisdom, to take the awakening, and promise yourself you will remember. And remembering is so much more of a potent syntax to use than ones they've used before for mind control around mass traumatic events. And I'm not going to repeat the phrase because it is mind control programming. So if you can remember what you've learned until this point in time, that will stay anchored within you. And then if you can hold yourself accountable for not participating in what you've learned, and there will be nuances to this, but do your best. And as that happens, what that allows to happen is it creates a container, it creates a space for other people that are destined to go through their awakening. And it allows you to be compassionate and empathetic and hold space for them. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this lunar cycle, is that there's this beautiful thing happening through all our fellow humans visiting North America continent, Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America, quotes, that all these people coming together could start reflecting the beautiful things, the things we should appreciate, all of that. And that's so important. That remembering is just as important as remembering what you woke up to. And then from there, those two things will give you the strength to hold the feet to the fire. And also the feet to the fire creates innovation. It creates a call and response to a new way of living. And so we've been pushed and pushed and pushed into a technological era in a way that is actually goes against this organic system, this dimensional field that we all participate in. It may work fine in other dimensional fields, but it's actually goes against the laws of nature here in this dimensional field on planet Earth. And so as you come into harmony with that, you'll realize what you want to set down and then that which is helpful. And we're seeing this in the 20s to 30s year old age group, that they are realizing what they want to put down, especially in the tech field. And it's actually dialing us back to a place where there isn't a security in having your phone on you. There's not even a security of having your new cards on you, because they did not abide by the laws of nature within this dimensional field. And therefore, it creates too many opportunities for people to steal. And so that what that does is it brings us back to needing physicality to interact with one another. It brings us back to needing physical means of exchange versus digital. So I'll leave that big hint there, because what happens is the organic beings are very innovative and they're interdependent with this dimensional field. Technology, inorganic systems are not part of this field. They never were. And so the remembrance is that how precious that is and how you want to innovate with that and how you want to protect it. And we're seeing it in all these emerging industries. And if you just put your attention there, it will continue to flourish. And it's not to say this is all going to happen overnight, yet there's a large component that's going to actually remove it from this system, kind of like a sieve where it doesn't belong. You know, it's like the great purge. If you sat in a medicine ceremony and you've purged, it's like, it's out, up and out. And then there's some integration and understandings of what that happens. So we really have gone through so many significant layers of purification and purging. And it's really the responsibility of each and every one of you to really integrate what that has meant, even though some of it might be frustrating because you might feel like, wow, you know, nothing's happened, but it's happening. It's not just always visible. But you can make choices every single day to assist with what you feel your role is. And also know that as we go further into this era, it's the preciousness of the mundane will get richer and richer, and the ability to enjoy connectivity, not through the Ethernet, but through humans heart to heart. And so that heart connection is something so unique, and no machine can ever interface with it as we do. There's no access point. And ironically, or not ironically, as a friend of mine would say, there are no coincidences, is some of the hydro colliders they've powered down for 4 years. And I would strongly urge, if anyone's listening that works there, to keep them off. What you're doing is a huge violation to this field and many others. And there are consequences, very, very strong consequences. So any of you scientists there that love to explore the universe and consciousness, go find a good friend that knows a lot about mushrooms and plant medicine, and just go out in the field for a while, and you'll learn a lot more than having to have that big machine. And for you that don't know what that is, you could look it up for fun. So as we go into this meditation, I just want to welcome you to take a moment and think back to what was your initial realization that the world was not exactly what you had been told or taught. And from that point, and go back further than maybe the extreme ones that are, I think, a little too overt in the political and theological place, but go back further to maybe something that you were taught historically, maybe something that you were taught about another cultural community somewhere in the globe that you realize, wow, that wasn't true. Go back to that initial awakening and remember what it brought up in you and what it opened up before your eyes, and how it inspired you and all those kinds of things. And then continue from there to start to remember the other things that you've seen. And then the final point of that is to write down what you don't want to unknow, because that's part of what's at play right now, is that you really don't want to forget what you don't want to forget. So it's, again, that remembrance. You want to remember, and that's the key word, remember. You want to remember. If you think about it, if you've played with hypnosis, meaning that you've had someone hypnotize you, they basically are taking over, with your consent, your mental perceptions and erasing your relationship to maybe a habit, a memory, all of those things. That's your choice if you want to do that. But on a grand scale, that's been done to all of humanity over and over and over again. So as you write down these things that you've learned along the way and that you're ready to continue to remember, then, if inspired, make a commitment to yourself to hold your feet to the fire, meaning metaphorically, hold yourself responsible to speak up for yourself and others. And then it will spiral from there. And then also, this is all tied to things you're destined to bring to your community, your business, to innovate and inspire. And also remember that when we leave the predatory realm, is that there's not as much need for things like healing, because you will retain wholeness from sunrise to sunset and sunset to sunrise. And so getting even out of that mindset that you have to work from a state of being that is a sick state of being. This is your opportunity to really flow into the state of well-being 24/7, if you will, and enjoy life. Think about how much energy you could build up by staying in the mindset and the heart set of well-being, and notice when you slightly go out of balance and address that immediately versus being in a reactive mode. And that's how we've been. So humanity, this is an exciting time. It's a time that we get to step in and reevaluate where we're at and the things we want to do together and create, and how we want to communicate with one another heart to heart. So with that being said, take a nice gentle breath in and out. Again, inhale and exhale. Good. Another one. Inhale and exhale. And then gently from there, I want to welcome you to continue to follow your breath. Let everything I just said wash away so you can sit in your inner landscape in your silence.
Space space between vision, the space between the space between the space between space between vision, a space between vision, a space between a space between the space between the space between the space between the space between space between the space between space
And gently from there, I welcome you to gently lean back and recline or move fully into Shavasana, a prone position on your back with your palms facing upward as we transition into receiving sound. As you settle in, just take a nice gentle breath into the heart and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. And one more inhale. And exhale. And then continue to follow your natural breathing pattern.
Adono ane ai ane ane ram Ado ane ai Ado ane ram Ado ai ane Ado ai ram ane ane
Taking a soft, gentle breath in and out of your heart center. Gently breathing in and out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Taking another deep breath in and out. And as you continue to breathe in and out, I welcome you to take a moment just to express silent gratitude for all you are, and give yourself a pat on the back for having the courage to awaken and remember. And as you give yourself a little rah-rah, it's also equally important, if so inspired, to send out some good cheer, gratitude, compassion, empathy out beyond here to people, place, person that you feel it would be wanted and welcomed. And so part of that word remembering is that we knew many of these things before we landed here in this lifetime. And that's why that remembering is so important, because those bits of information that you hold will continue to expand. And rather than feeling aggravated at being awake to certain things, not all things, know that that is such a gift. And then to ask yourself, how can I serve with this awareness? And then how do I retain this awareness? And that's a daily practice. And oftentimes what can come in immediately is judgment of others and situations, because there is this difference that's still here. And then finally to know that with that wisdom, as you awaken more and more from within, that remembering, you will have the courage and the voice and the ability to stand not only for yourself, but for your family, for your community. And that is beautiful. And imagine if each self does that, how strong we become as a collective humanity. And it's really that simple, and it doesn't need to be from this top down perspective. You've all done such a beautiful job of having the courage, and that is a blessing to see, even though many of us might be a little tired. Hang in there and let that chi of the fire help energize you and give you strength to be compassionate and empathetic and joyful to yourself and others. So I want to thank all of you for being here in this moment, creating the space to listen. And as those of us that are here in the Northern Hemisphere, I welcome you to walk forward with courage, love, joy. And for our brothers and sisters in the Southern Hemisphere, I encourage you to do the same. And may all of our brothers and sisters rocking center continue to dance, continue to chant, continue to remind us how to find our way. You are all masterful at that. And until next time, I want to thank Dante Marino, Random Rap, Kadri Scott. Please support their creative talents. Go to their shows, buy their music. These are ways that we can support the new era. And until next time, this is Suzanne signing out with a full heart, a soft gaze, a deep bow, and a namaste. Be simply.